welcome to the NBA playoff edition of Kicks, Cleats, and Athletes. It's your boy EJ. We got our board ops, JD,
Yo.
and the all-knowing, the kick connoisseur, Kicks Kings himself, Jimmy T.
What up, fellas?
What's good?
What they do, fellas? Oh man, it's a magical time of year.
It definitely is. It's that playoff basketball time, so it's always a great time of year.
Indeed.
So how everyone weekend? Everyone good? We living?
Yeah, man, it's cold in New York City,
Yeah, he said it was like a. What'd you say it was?
I don't know. They said we had a winter advisory. I was like, it's April. I didn't even know winter was still here. Winds were blowing. I don't know, man. I think it was these Knicks fans bellowing all throughout the city. That's what I feel. I don't know. There's been a lot of chaos out here.
I bet it has been. I mean, it's been an interesting series to say the least. So you know what? We'll let's just jump right into it. I think that'll probably be the one series that people are gonna have their opinions on. So we'll jump right into it. The Knicks Philly series. What's been your biggest takeaway so far?
Man, I will say the Knicks, when they play at home, they play such a brand of bat. Like they feed off of that MSG crowd. They're interconnected. It's something I can see that because they play above what you think they would be, as a team. They just, for some reason, and they're in those bright lights, they have that kind of aura that, you get all the stars and it's so close. And literally, if you've never been to Madison Square Garden, it's unlike any arena you've ever seen a game in. Like every arena that we watch games in is lit up. Like it's all lit up. You can see the court. It's super bright. How they do Madison Square Garden is it's literally like a theater. So it's nothing but like you're in like the shade of darkness, and all you see is this lights on the court. So it gives you this whole different feel. And when they're cooking, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. So I get why they're like, you want to play well in Madison Square Garden. But I tell you what, these Knicks fans and their ideology of them just being the greatest thing since sliced bread is ridiculous. It literally, living here and listening to them, you would have thought they had won the championship already. They're like, we knew we would do this. Like they just destroyed Philly. It's so disrespectful. I'm like, literally, Philly is figuring it out game by game. And I'm not going to hold you. This last game, there were some questionable calls. I think. And I also like how Philly kept the receipts on the refs because they low-key been betting on the Knicks. I ain't saying nothing, but I heard some things.
You talking about Daryl?
But you guys, hey, there's an investigation. Hey, there's an investigation ensuing. That's all I will say about these referees.
Daryl Morey losing games. I'm not, because he's the one that brought it to light. I'm not holding any weight. There were some calls early in the game that I thought were questionable, but I'm gonna disagree probably with both of you that I don't think there should have been a foul called in that last scenario.
So you don't think Maxey got fouled?
I mean, I saw a couple videos when he slowed it way down in slow motion, that he was being grabbed a little bit, but
now he was just being grabbed a little bit.
You got to protect the ball. Get a rebound.
All right. So
get a rebound. Look. Like the ball is the most precious item. They gave up how many 3-point shots did they give up? I know they made 2.
Yeah.
They gave up 3 shots, right?
You're right. Their ball control.
Was a foul. So getting the ball back.
Look, for someone that's supposed to be a veteran, a NBA champion, who I'm glad the Heat finally moved away from, dude, you got to call a timeout. You have a timeout. I don't understand why you are trying to force that ball in when everybody is just pressing full court press and you're trying to just force the ball in. Call a timeout,
That's your
figure
boy.
it out, because once you get the ball in, essentially it's just the foul game. It's just make as long as you make your free throws, you win the game. That's it. But instead, you tried to force the ball. Like, my thing is this: when it comes to any sport, and we all played sports, it really doesn't matter kind of what level. You could be the most talented, you could been in the league forever. But if you don't have it up here mentally and you are aware of the situation, like you could ruin everything. And that's exactly what Kyle Lowry did for the
Facts.
Philadelphia 76ers last night. Like he just was absent minded in that situation and easily could have just called a timeout and they could have regrouped. And now you have the whole court to work with because you could throw the ball in the back court. So you could spread out New York a little bit and then make your way. But I mean, I feel Maxi got fouled, but
Okay.
at the same time though, a play like that, you kind of let them play in a
It's
sense.
avoidable.
So
But
it could be Nick Nurse trying to take up for his guy, but he did say that they tried to get the referee's attention for a timeout, and he was like, "No." He came out and made that statement. That's what Nick Nurse said. I'm not.
But if you look at the replays,
Mhm.
it's like he's hesitating. He doesn't quite
He
call
said
for the time
okay.
out. So
Okay, but you
it's a
saw.
lot
Hold
of
on. But if I go like this, like that kind of like it's
no.
like
If you go
timeout.
like this, not when you kind of
Yeah.
like I
No,
want to do it,
Yeah.
but
the
I'm not
officials.
sure.
Yeah, the
Jason, what's
officials
a
are
partial
told that they gotta.
timeout? There's no
He
partial.
didn't.
If I hit you
No,
like this,
EJ. So if you hit me with this, you're calling a timeout.
that's a
I'm
timeout.
supposed to like this.
That's a
This is
gesture.
a timeout.
That's a gesture.
That is not a timeout
And
though.
then exactly what happens is they were like, no, I wasn't calling a timeout. Why'd you blow the whistle?
Man, if you doing this, you
Exactly.
calling a timeout. What you doing then? We know what you doing. We know what this
Man,
is.
you could be calling a play. You don't know.
What kind of
I mean, I'm just saying. Look, all I know
there was
is
a lot of miscues on Philly. Philly lost that game more than the Knicks won it.
I would agree with that.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah. And what's interesting about it though, and I said it in our chat. I'm like, if Philly does not do well, you no longer can blame Doc for struggling with this same 76ers team.
Hey,
certainly can.
He at least got them out the first round.
Yeah.
I'm not
off the Philly boat yet. I haven't.
I'm
I
not
haven't
either.
jumped ship.
I'm not
I have
either.
not jumped ship. Embiid said they're not losing the series, and he like 60%. And he like we're not losing to them. And I think
feel like
his pride might just carry him to it because
he didn't look too confident when he said that though.
I think Philly. I think Philly's going to win in 6.
I don't know about that now. I don't know about that.
Next 4. They win the next 4.
Dang. If you like that, Jason, I don't know. I think it'll at least go 7. But if you like that, hey, I ain't mad at it. Like I do think they'll get the next 2. And I think that New York, like, just being New York, like they're gonna have them like hyped for that next one when it comes back to New York. But I think they'll lose again when it comes back to Philly. And if you give me a game 7 and a Joel Embiid, I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him. Just on him being Joel Embiid and been playing in the playoffs enough times. Like he understands the magnitude of this. If he's healthy enough to drag that leg along, because he looks hampered. I ain't gonna hold you. My dog is not fleet of foot.
He couldn't even set the pick for Maxey to shoot the 3.
He's hurt.
I was like, Maxey got to shoot that, but like I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to get Joel to come over and set a pick for him so he can get an open look. And when he kind of dribbled it that way, he realized, oh shit, I'm not gonna get it. So then he passed it off. It was this. But he don't look right.
He hurt. We know he hurt.
We know that he's hurt. So,
but I do commend him.
It gets better.
It's not gonna get better
as this series goes along. Like he might get a little endurance as far as he's playing more minutes, but I don't know if it's gonna get any better. He don't trust it. You saw how he dunked it and fell out.
Well, he should have never.
That was more of a scare than him hurting his knee. He was just terrified that he hurt it again.
he was angry and he forgot that he was hurt for a second because he was like, these little nickies shouldn't be on me like this. So he threw it off the glass. No, he just coming off the repaired knee and tried to just embarrass him. And he's like 80%.
Has to be, in order for you, the two of y'all's predictions to come true, I think his shot has to be on.
Yeah.
Like
well, I don't
because what happens is in the fourth quarter, he's in both games, his shot has started to come up short because he was fatigued. So he's got to be on.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't see it. I just see. I mean, I think they'll get a couple, but I just don't see them going and winning 4.
Because who's been winning these games? It's really been the role players. Like, because Brunson hasn't really done much.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Josh Hart has saved the Knicks. Easy.
And are you going to bank that he can keep doing that?
Well, he's proven that he's going to get those rebounds. I mean, offensively, maybe not put up the points
4
he did,
3,
but
4 threes. Yeah.
He's definitely going to be a force on the glass. But since we're talking about the Knicks, let me ask this question. I'm curious on y'all's take. So we see Maxey just won Most Improved. Do you think that could have gone to Brunson instead?
Nah, because they already were in the playoffs. Like, he was kind of getting that kind of shine, but he just elevated it this year. But I think that there were talks of him being in like MVP conversations.
Who, Brunson?
Yeah.
So if you're in talks of MVP, you're not
for him to be Most Improved.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this year. I mean, I think he was the best player on the team last year. I think if they was going to get it, he was going to get it last year. I think this year is supposed to be, all right, go out and prove that you can do it again type deal. So I don't know if it was
because they were in the second round, last year. That's why I said
I don't know if voters put him in that bucket of, oh wow, look at the jump he made. I don't. I think if his first year in New York, coming over from the Mavs, that could have been a year where he won Most Improved because you weren't sure.
That's a fact,
right? You weren't sure if he was going to be the player he is. Because you really didn't see a lot of it in the regular season. He just came alive during that playoff run that they had.
Yeah.
So I think that probably has to do with it. It's more of a narrative situation than it is. I mean, you could argue 100% that he was more improved than any other player in the league this year.
But
I mean, if that narrative fits. He fits into that narrative as far as like voters' eyes.
I don't think Maxey didn't deserve the award though either. To go to be an all-star this year after James Harden leaves. What are you like? What, year 3 player in the league? Year 3, year 4? Like, that seems about like right on line for most, really good players.
It was his first year full-time starting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because he was always coming off the bench. I mean, I know he started in some different versions of the, when somebody was down or even when Doug threw him out there against, I guess, when they wanted to go smaller lineups. But he wasn't starting full-time. This is the first time full-time starter.
Yeah, so shout outs to him.
Yeah, and I don't know this. I don't like this is just me kind of guessing, but it usually goes to a younger player, doesn't it? I mean, Brunson's older. Brunson's he'll be 28 next year or 29, one of those two. He's a little bit of an older player now.
Nah, you're right. It does normally go to a younger player. Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. Right. I mean, I don't know if that matters. I don't have any data or stats on that at all. But I just
I mean, all in all, the Knicks just aren't good enough to win awards. So it is what it is.
Well, you know what? We've been giving the Knicks too much shine and too much love and too much talk, man. What did
But you know what? So, go on.
No, I was just gonna ask, man. What did you guys think about that Phoenix Minnesota series?
What do we think about it?
Yeah, like, what do you think? Like even Ant-Man, we're looking at it tonight. He's not even having a great game, but they're still just thoroughly like punishing Phoenix.
They dogged Phoenix again tonight because that game's over. So still, a road team has not yet won a game in these playoffs, but I'm actually surprised. And the reason I'm surprised is due to the fact of the playoff experience that the Phoenix Suns have as a collective, just players being in, those that environment versus Minnesota, where you might have a sprinkle here or there that really know what it takes to get there or to really advance throughout the playoffs. So I'm kind of shocked that they're looking the way they are, Phoenix, but then in the same breath, I'm not surprised because this is how they've looked all year. It's not like they've ever really shown like, yeah, we're about to just take this leap now and show why we can make noise in the West. It's like they've always kind of just been there. And I feel like we've given them credit because of who they have on the team, not necessarily how good they are as a team. So I think, Minnesota, I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota won that series in maybe five. I think Phoenix might get one at home. You're hoping that they will play better at home and make it a series. But I don't know, just the way, because even tonight, I mean, they started off slow. They found themselves down in the game early, but then by the time the first quarter was coming to an end, they had the lead and they were good. They looked like they were in the driver's seat. And then, by halftime, Minnesota made a run to cut the deficit down to I think 2 or 3 going into halftime. And then, a tale of two halves. Phoenix really didn't play that well coming out of the break, and it was just, Minnesota took advantage. Mike Conley had a great game. I don't know if you're going to get that from him again, but players stepped up. Their leader and their all-star, superstar, however you want to look at him, Ant-Man, he had an off night, but the team picked up. You figure he was off. Cat was in foul trouble from the beginning. He had 3 fouls in the first quarter. So he was in foul trouble from the jump. And so he didn't really get anything going. So it's like, this was a team win for Minnesota. They played as a team and the players stepped up. Whereas, with Phoenix, their big three all scored in double digits, but they need more help and they need to learn how to play defense.
The problem scoring is the biggest thing for. We knew they weren't gonna play no damn defense, but I mean they're just when they want is weird to me watching. I mean, honestly, I mean as a team, I just pulled it up. I mean, and this actually surprises me because when I was watching, it just seemed like they weren't able to score when they should have scored. You know what I mean? But like they shot 45% from the field, but when we scored 93 points. I mean, that's weird, isn't it? With a Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Brad Beal, like that don't sound right. You shoot 45% from the field and you only score 90 points. It's just weird. I don't know. It's just that's what's throwing me off though in this series is that I thought they would be able to score more, especially in game one. They went cold in that second half. And, I think the team win tonight when Edwards or Towns didn't have to carry the team; they just won as a team. Really signals that this thing's going to be over in 5. I don't know if it goes longer than that. You might get maybe 6. But I mean, I don't expect Anthony Edwards to only score 15 points anymore this series. Do you?
No, but I mean, he just showed you that he doesn't theoretically need to score more than 15 for them to win.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the team win makes me like if this would have been, like if Ant was off and Towns was wasn't in foul trouble and he went and scored 35. You had someone carry the squad. But you could see that. I mean, their highest scorer was McDaniels. He scored 25. Yeah. Shooting the 3 ball. So that's a sign that you're a little bit overwhelmed. You're outmanned, in my opinion.
And before real quick, EJ, before you hop in, you made a great point. They have probably Phoenix that is 3 of the best scorers in the game right now between Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. Yeah, three of the best scorers. Now, I mean, I'm not saying they're the top three, so I don't want you guys to go there. I'm just saying you have three of the best right now in the NBA. And, in their own right, when they were on their own team, they were putting up great numbers. So you figure, when they come together, the shot,
It'll even out.
it will even out in some shape, form, or fashion. But when you can't even, because let's see, Kevin Durant 6 of 15, so he took 15 shots. Bradley Beal took 17 shots, and Devin Booker took 13. But then for 3 points between the three of them, they made 3 3-pointers between the three of them. Like they can't win like that. Like they need somebody that's going to be able to just take over the game and just do it. Grayson Allen has to take more than 2 shots. You just paid this man all this money, and he only takes 2 shots when he's your next one. He's a great shooter. He's a really good shooter. So I mean, but what I'm saying is, like, if you need more scoring power, apparently, like your big three aren't scoring enough, so you need it somewhere else. Because Eric Gordon's not going to give you 20 points again. It's not going to happen.
Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you the difference between these two teams. Minnesota has a point guard. They have a point guard, someone who plays the point guard position. So he understands pace and flow of the game, spacing. He understands all those things. Who to get the ball at this time, how to get it to him, who's hot, who's not. When they have literally a quintessential point guard in Mike Conley. The Phoenix Suns don't have one. Devin Booker's not a point guard. Bradley Beal's not a point guard. Kevin Durant's not a point guard. So what do you do when you have 3 really great scorers? You're like, all right, my turn, your turn. You got it right now. You got it. You hot. I got you. Or it's my turn now. I'm hot. You know what I mean? So there's no flow of game. There's no cohesiveness. You know who would be perfect on this team? Freaking Chris Paul. He would make this show work. Honestly. Because he's the one who's like, I know who to get the ball at this time. I have enough cachet to be able to direct you to be like, all right, nah, it's your turn. I got this now. Or it's my turn. I'll take it now. If he was healthy, he would be the perfect person for this team because literally they can go out and do what they do best, which is snipe.
Remember, they got rid of him to bring in Bradley Beal.
I understand.
He was hurt, though. He got hurt, right?
He did. He did. That year in the playoffs, he got hurt.
They just got tired of waiting around.
Yeah, they were like, "You're not gonna never be."
I remember me saying exactly what you said last year or whenever they got Kevin Durant to go with Devin Booker. I was hyped for Chris Paul because I was like, "Oh, he's gonna be able to manage the offense the way it should be managed," and he couldn't stay healthy.
100%. And also, I would say for the Minnesota Timberwolves, even something that I overlooked, man, Big Cat missed the last month?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they didn't miss a beat having Naz Reid inserted into that lineup. When Big Cat was out, they didn't miss a step when Naz Reid was in the lineup. So, yeah, you can have a night where Big Cat's in trouble.
Edwards.
Huh?
You have Anthony Edwards.
You do. But again, it's not. I mean, it wasn't like Anthony Edwards was scoring 33 a night.
I think he was though. I think he was averaging over 30 while Cat was out
every night.
I'm saying
took
I think he averaged over 30 while he was.
I personally can attest to a game that I watched that I saw Naz Reid hit like 6 threes. Just him. I'm just talking about this guy that you inserted for Cat. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying that Anthony Edwards.
I'm just, Ant makes up for a lot of things when you're missing.
I think Anthony Edwards is great. I really do. I think that like athletically, he is a marvel. Like I think there's some like things he can refine his game with to make him like super great to where
He's only 20,
that athleticism.
He's only 23 though, so
I feel you,
that,
but
yeah,
I ain't
the
gonna.
ceiling is very high.
But hold on. Let me give you my take on Anthony Edwards. He strikes me as a type that he nice. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's really gonna be like, I need to take my game to the next level because I'm already got like I'm dunking on everybody. You know, I'm in the movies. Like I'm getting all this. They compare me to MJ already. It takes a different kind of level to be great. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't want to put a negative light on him yet because he's
100%.
He's improved every year. Until he stops improving, then we can have that conversation. But he's improved every single year.
You're right.
His professionalism has gotten better every single year as well. So I think I will wait. That's a wait and see.
I see a lot of accolades and things coming this young man's way in the same way that I saw it coming Ja Morant's way, as far as just being like, man, I can't be touched. And like, you know, like in a way of like, I've already made it and I haven't really made it yet. Cause I feel like we were talking about Ja Morant in the way that we're talking about Anthony Edwards now.
Who was?
Just
people in general?
People in general. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
I thought I personally thought the Ja Morant stuff was premature.
Okay.
I think we gotta let these guys, like, you gotta see the climb.
I mean, he was really. I mean, Ja Morant was. I mean, we can talk about that other. But he was really good, like really good.
Nah, he is good. I mean, I don't think anyone's like questioning, you know, his abilities. So, but I mean, you know, like Jimmy said, you know, you just got to see. I mean, it's only been what he's been in the league 4 years now.
That's what's crazy about it. He's only 23. He's been in the league 4 years. You know, so
and I mean, he didn't really play much this year. He was suspended for the first 30 games or so, and then he played 12, and then I think it was a shoulder, and he was done for the year. Yeah.
Well, now he was
I was talking about Anthony Edwards. No, he's older than that, isn't he? How old is it?
Ja Morant? I don't think so. He might be maybe 24. Maybe. I think Ja
played more than one season in college, didn't he?
Yeah, he played 2.
He's about 24.
Yeah, I mean, whatever Zion is, they're the same.
He's 24, right?
Yeah, then that's
Did they come out in the same draft?
Yeah, that's the one too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one too.
Wait, no.
No, Ja Morant came out with Zion.
Ja came out with Zion. So I think
Anthony Edwards came out the year after.
I thought you said Zion. Yeah. My bad. I thought that's what you said.
No. Anthony Edwards came out the next year, I think.
Yeah, who they took? They took who was the first pick in that draft? Freaking James Wiseman. Is that who Golden State took him?
No, they took him at 4. I thought.
No,
I think Anthony Edwards was number 1.
Oh, he was number 1. Okay, that was okay. They made the right decision because then LaMelo was 3.
I think Wiseman.
No, hold on, wait a minute.
4 or maybe 2. Might have went 2.
I don't think Anthony Edwards was the first pick of the draft.
Let's find out. Let's not.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think he was as well.
Yeah. I think they messed around and took James Wiseman.
Yeah, I think Wiseman.
No, because they didn't have the number 1 overall pick. We were just like, oh, they're gonna get it because they just won the damn championship, and then they got
he was top 4. No, he was the first overall. He was the first overall pick by the minute. Yep,
okay.
the 2020 draft.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so they took Wiseman second.
Well, that was a mistake as well.
Well, I mean. Honestly, it wasn't though.
They drafted for fit versus drafting for best player available because
exactly because
they
had their
LaMelo,
3.
right?
I don't know. I don't think LaMelo would have really worked for their team. I think
why not? Why?
If you look at
not? I think it would have been perfect. I think it would have been perfect on that team.
Because if you look at the way their team is constructed, they needed a big because Draymond was essentially their big. And they needed a big, hence why they went with Wiseman.
But could you imagine a third Splash Brother?
Like he's hurt. So what difference would it make?
Because they got the man hurt. Because they
He
got that
stay
man doing
hurt.
everything in Charlotte. If he was in that
He
franchise,
stay hurt.
I think your career is
You're blaming
often,
the franchise for him being hurt.
bro.
Exactly.
I honestly think some franchises can get you hurt.
we gonna
That's
blame
not
you
true,
for
Jimmy.
always
He was
being
drafted in
hurt.
Charlotte. He's all of
Hold
a
on.
sudden going to be. He's on the
Jimmy,
bike. He's on the
Jimmy, a
bike.
franchise can't get you hurt.
They absolutely can, but they didn't
Thank
get
you.
him hurt.
Thank
He
you.
was hurt.
I'm just saying. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear because I know they
Look.
can. I know that they can.
But this
That
is not
man
one of those situations.
stay exactly.
Hey,
that man stay hurt. Just like you stay hurt.
Hey, Charlotte ran Kimba into the ground. My dog got to play overseas now. Charlotte ran him into the ground. The man
So you
gave him.
think they gonna do it to Brandon Miller too?
Hey, you better watch out, B. Miller. That's all I'm gonna say. Look at their track record.
And
Look
this
at their track record.
coming from the plumber that don't have the best track record.
Hey, you look at Charlotte track record with the people that do well. Look at Gordon Hayward. I'm just saying, look at their track record. That's all I'm gonna say.
Gordon Hayward got
He
hurt in
didn't.
Boston.
He was hurt before he even went to Charlotte.
And Charlotte always gets the damaged goods. It's a track record. That's all I'm trying to tell you. They keep a track record.
So then LaMelo, you're saying LaMelo's damaged goods?
I'm saying he need to get out of town. I asked my agent for a trade immediately. I said anywhere but here. Anywhere but here. Look at Look at Adam Morrison. My man winning. He went to LA and won a championship.
Real quick on that subject though, because I know we talked about it a little bit when we've talked about like past drafts. Do you think a player should be able to dictate where they get drafted? Like you can say, you know what, I'm not going.
Hey man,
I don't think so.
Hey man, John Elway did it. Archie Manning's son did it.
Eli,
hey, you can do it.
Is that a jab at New Yorkers?
It is.
Okay. I was like, damn, I mean, I don't like New York.
I should have said Peyton little brother.
Call him Eli. Eli's a good dude.
I should have said Peyton little brother. That's what
but I'll tell you what though, if I'm paying you millions of dollars, like you coming.
What?
100%.
You coming. If I'm paying you millions of dollars, I don't want to hear no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And then I am asking for like way over asking price for whatever I drafted you at. Like they better bring me the house. Like I just to prove a damn point.
Yep.
I don't care.
I'm with you there.
I'm with you. Get Gardner Minshew and let him play in front of you. If we're talking about quarterbacks. Quarterbacks usually only ones. I'll go get him and then wait because somebody gonna bite eventually.
Back in the day,
I just want to see one. I'm sorry, EJ. Hang on. I just want to see one time one of these players. So and the reason I asked that because I heard they're throwing like smoke out there that Jaden Daniels didn't want to play for the Commanders, right? That he wanted to play for the Raiders.
I don't know if anybody want to play there.
Well, you don't even know the name of the team.
Well, that should tell you something.
But just one time, I want to see a player do that, right? And then nobody else wants to trade with him, so that he just falls, he tumbles, and loses millions and millions of dollars. That's what I want to see. Like, bro, like take your blessings where you can get them, and then
because you don't have to re-sign with them. So you take your blessings, and then after your 4 years or whatever your time is, then you move on.
You're either gonna play here or live here, or both.
All right,
pretty much.
So like back in the day, like people used to be like they were so good athletically, they could just be like, you know what, I'm not gonna play for you. I got another option. I can go play baseball. You feel me? Like a lot of those people that were like, all right, I won't play for your team, like Elway, like Dion, like a bunch of players, they were like, I'll just go play a different sport that'll pay me money to play. So they kind of had that going for them. Now, not so much cross sports like that. But I mean, if you're like Deion Sanders already said, his kids, there's certain teams his kids are not going to. When he says his kids, he means both of his kids and Travis Hunter. He was like, we're a conglomerate, so we're not.
Yeah. First of all, Travis Hunter doesn't play the position where he can dictate that.
Well,
second of all,
he might be the next Charles Woodson. Jimmy T.
Shedeur is good enough to do that. Not yet.
We gonna see what he does this year.
Yeah,
we'll see Shedeur. You don't think Travis Hunter potentially, like, as we saw what he saw when he was healthy? I thought he was phenomenal when he was healthy. So that reminds me of Charles Wilson's type status. Like if you could play both that way and do it in D1 and be nice like that.
What did he play in the NFL?
He played
played
corner,
DB.
safety,
Play
yeah.
DB. So
Yeah.
he doesn't hold like offensive and defensive positional value.
Okay, so then
he's
what
gonna be
about if he's
treated like
prime?
every other DB that comes out that's top of the line, like Pat Surtain, Derek Stingley, these guys that came out, they're gonna be rated just like he was.
What if he's prime?
They might think of him a little bit better, but
Twiz, what if he's prime?
I think you get yourself in trouble when you start comparing to your players to greats.
I'm just asking.
Like,
I'm saying
somebody comes out like they're like, oh, the next Patrick Mahomes or the next this, like, and then they end up being nowhere near that. I think you need to.
I'm asking you, what if though? That's what I'm asking. I'm like, what if he is that? Then is he worth?
You won't know until he's in the NFL. So
you won't.
like,
I know this is all hypothetical. I'm just asking you, if he possessed that type of skill set, is he worth? Would his value be worth that type of?
To say that you can't say
that I want him to play here. Like if Deion Sanders is co-signing him, we're talking about prime time. Him being like, yo, he's the next it. Well, I think that holds cachet.
Here's the thing with that. We still don't know if Deion's a good coach, though.
I mean, well, hold on now.
We don't know that because he went to Jackson State, but he had more talent than everybody else, right? We'll see, but we still don't know if he's a good coach yet.
Let me ask you.
Wait to see. Like, not every great player is great coaches. In fact, I think the data shows that most players are not great coaches, not the great ones, because they don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have the patience. They don't have because they were so great that they want everybody to be on their level, and that's not. It's usually the guys who are backup quarterbacks and things like that. They end up being great coaches or guys who really studied the game as they're coming up. When you're a great player, a lot of those guys don't end up being great coaches. It's littered all across sports.
Okay, so not that we
go
too far.
Real quick, the Bucks getting blown out. All right, go on.
I don't even have.
I do want to talk about that, but not so we. I just don't want to get too far on this. I just want to ask you: did you think he did a bad coaching job this year?
No, I think he had. Well, I don't know if he did a bad job or not because I just don't think he had the talent. So it's tough to say.
So with what he had, what you saw,
yeah, but it's hard to say that he did a good job.
Okay, all right, we'll leave it there then. That's fine. I just wanted I just wanted your opinion.
Listen,
I was wondering.
But I just want to be honest about what we're talking about when we're talking about the coach. Like we want to give Prime more because he's Prime. Like we want to give him but I'm sick and tired. I'll be quite honest with you. Like he need to stop putting everything on camera and stop putting his kids' stuff out there and blast. Like not everything has to be profound. Like you don't like the things that are going on in his program, and I love it because he's teaching young men. But at the same time, like it's not always the best thing to do. And he acts like that's the only place that those type of relationships are being created. There's some places that are bad, but those type of conversations and fatherly love and things like that are happening all over the country. So like he doesn't need to act like it's only happening in Boulder, Colorado, and it's always a profound answer. Like sometimes, bro, just give me a straight answer.
But he prime time though, Jimmy. Like he not no straight. He prime. Like
that's gonna wear thin. And right now, like it's and I know he's trying to revamp the program, but it's a carousel right now. He's got great players leaving and great players coming in. So like, and that's the name of college football right now. So we don't know what the reasons are, but I'm just saying like, build the program. Let's see what you can do, and then we'll go from there. Like I just don't. We don't know. Co-signing that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Not yet. You know what I mean? If Nick Saban's co-signing on a DB, then we're like, all right, let's go, because he continuously produces DBs on a regular basis in the NFL. I mean, you probably have more than half of the NFL has a DB from Alabama on their team right now.
I'll tell you what. Shout out to Deion Sanders getting their team mentioned in the NBA playoffs. You feel me? Like he doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah, just us.
Listen, as a marketer, talk about it. Like I'm okay with it, but there's some things that you just need to keep in house.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like that's just my feeling. Like I marketing your school and getting that out there. That's part of what he needs to do to make sure like to get people to come to Colorado. I get that.
Because nobody going to no dang Boulder, Colorado before this.
Right.
You feel me?
Like kept in house. And some things don't need to be explained in the way that Prime always wants to explain them. Like, let's just, yes or no sometimes, bro. Like, that's it.
But
Like,
I'll tell you one thing though. I know we didn't plan on talking about college football and stuff,
no.
but just college sports in general. I don't like the new rule that they just passed through that you could transfer and you're eligible to play right away as long
That's
as
been the
you're
rule.
academically eligible, huh?
That's been the rule. No, it's been
No,
now
they
it's
had to
official.
they
Yeah,
had
it
to
was like
sit
that.
out a year. They had to
No.
sit out when they transferred. They had to sit out a year, and then when COVID happened, they allowed them to go. But now it doesn't matter. It's you transfer. You could transfer every single year if you want to. You could enter the portal because it
love it.
used to be a cap on how many times you could go into the portal.
I love
And
it.
now you could go into the portal but you
Well-
can't build a program because if I'm recruiting you, which I
Agreed.
never would, but if I'm recruiting you,
This guy. Yeah.
and
You'll be
you're
able to
like,
get
all right, yeah, I'm
high
coming,
caliber
and
guy like
then
myself to come to your
no, because you'd be on
program.
you'd be on the bench, you'd be on the bench.
I'll be the heart and soul of that
Unfortunately,
team.
it would be me
I'll be
doing
the
a-
heart and soul of that team.
It'd be me
Talking
doing a
about,
favor for probably your parent.
I'll be
Like, yes,
electric.
I'll take him since nobody else does.
Man.
But anywho, because you'd be just sitting on the bench and upset, you're gonna leave and then go somewhere else and be eligible to play right away and sit on someone else's bench for another year and then leave again, go somewhere else. And all you're doing is 4 years, 4 different schools, 4 different benches. So it's like,
See,
I don't
that's
agree
why
with
people,
that.
That's why
I mean,
people
I
leave
don't
your
agree with
school,
it either,
Jason.
But Jason, it was like that since they started it because the NCAA was trying to get it overturned and they got denied. So now it's technically official, but it was already like that. They were transferring the player right away as soon as the transfer portal got big. It was just that
Yeah,
the
but that
NCAA
was
trying
over
to
the
shut it
last couple years.
down.
But now they could just do it every single year as long as they're academically eligible. They could transfer as many times as they want and just go.
But the conference, and every conference can have their own rules too. So, like, if you're transferring from an SEC school, you cannot leave to go to the SEC school after a certain point during the year. So I think it's before the spring enrollment starts is the last time, and then then after that you can't go to within the same conference.
I got a question. As a college student, see, yeah, you know what, the water boy, but he was a great linebacker.
Come on now, as a college student.
So as a college student, could I go to a different school every year if I wanted to? As a collegiate student, could I do that? Is that okay?
Just a student?
This is student. I'm just asking a question.
You'd have to transfer. You'd have to get accepted.
But
you got to go through the whole process.
But I'm asking a question?
But basically, they're offering you a scholarship.
Yeah. If I was a Rhodes Scholar, like I'm just like I can go to whatever, I can transfer schools as many times as I would like to. Correct?
You could, but you're not graduating in 4 years. You're not graduating in 4 years.
And these kids also aren't graduating in 4 years that you're talking about. They're playing 6 years. They're playing because they have all these extra years. Legitimately, fellas, it's a business. It's a business. At the end of the day, you can change jobs. These kids can change schools once the leadership in their job is not going the way they like it. If it's not going the way they want it to go, based off of who's at the helm of this company, they have the right to change companies because you know what? It's not a good corporate fit. And that's what we're dealing. We're dealing with a bunch of mini corporations that hire entities. They pay these people to come and play for them.
Look,
so I can take my talents elsewhere if I am being paid to play.
No. I agree with I agree with what you said. My only thing is I don't agree with you being able to play right away. Like you're coming with, I just don't feel like that's fair. Like if you want to transfer and things like that, because I look at it like this: you're a student athlete first, right? So if you're transferring and you decide you want to come to my school, well, yeah, you got to sit out a year, but you're still getting the education. Like I'm still paying you to be here. You just have to wait a year before you could play. because I think that's how you keep your investment. If we're looking at it from a business standpoint, that's how you keep your business flourishing. Because if you have, that means you have this player locked in at least for 2 years, because 1 year they'll be able to practice, they'll be able to get a feel and things like that. And in that year 2, they finally get to play, versus you put all this effort in to get someone out the portal. You give them this NIL deal or whatever it is, they come and then all of a sudden they don't like it because maybe somebody beats them. Maybe Jimmy T beats you, the bench warmer, out for a spot, and now you're upset. So you want to leave again. So I'm just saying, like, I feel like there should be some circumstances. Like, if I recruit you and I decide to leave, hold on. And I decide to leave as a coach, if I decide to leave, I feel it's your right to be able to transfer with no problem. Bro, but if you want to just leave because you're unhappy, I don't feel like you could go somewhere right away and just play automatically.
Jimmy, before you say, I just got to give you the scenario. And I'm gonna let y'all go. But literally, in the Alabama backfield at this time that this running back came to Alabama to try to make his stripes and be the best that he could be. Literally in front of him was freaking Eddie Lacy, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, TJ Yeldon, these backs in front of him. You know who that fifth guy was? It was freaking Alvin Kamara. You not telling me if Alvin Kamara was like, yo, listen, I just can't beat these guys out, but I can go to a goddamn Tennessee and play, and I could be a star and be the Alvin Kamara that I am, that he's not supposed to do that? Like, what? Like,
I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just
saying I gotta sit out
a
year because I'm not better than them people.
I'm just saying you shouldn't be able to do it every single year. Is my point.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my point.
If you transfer once, you should be able to play right away. I think if you go to transfer again, I think there needs to be some stipulation. That's in my opinion.
That's what I mean. I just mean you shouldn't be allowed to transfer every single year if you wanted to and be eligible to play.
Okay. So how about this? So you say I can do it for the one time. How if I go to the second place, I get hurt? Now I'm like down on the depth chart. I shouldn't be able to try to maybe go to a lesser pool of talent to really show my skills because now I'm injured and I can't really get.
But you can't play anyway. So what difference does it make?
No. Not that I'm injured that I can't play. Just that they have more reps than me. So now they're not letting me get the reps that I would get if I wasn't injured. It's not from a lack of production. It's from a lack of circumstance. Like, literally, Derrick Henry had to sit behind somebody. But people not better.
But it's the same circumstance if you stay put and you get hurt and you got to wait your turn. I mean, like, think about it. Frank Gore, Willis McGahee.
All those
guys were on the same team. And then
but you're talking about them
Frank
people
Gore, Frank Gore didn't. He tore his ACL twice in college.
Sir, you're talking about exceptional running backs from South Florida. Everybody don't have a damn Frank Gore and Willis McGahee just running around. Like those are elite.
Well, you're talking being at lesser colleges too, so they wouldn't have Willis McGahee or Frank Gore on their squad. So
I can't believe y'all said Frank Gore and Willis McGahee. Jesus Christ.
Three thoughts on this. One, okay, let's think about y'all know who Caden Proctor is? He's the guy. He's the kid from Iowa. Number 1 offensive tackle in the class of 2023, I think it was. Went to Alabama. Well, everybody thought he was going to Iowa. Went to Alabama. Didn't play too hot. Transferred to Iowa. Took NIL money. Didn't play a snap in spring and transferred back to Alabama. So he literally went, robbed them of their money, and then went back to the school that they came from.
Good.
So you for that young man. You fair market value where you get to be able to go and get paid, but they're actually giving them money. So do you have to pay the money back? No, they take it and go. So there's got to be if you're switching jobs, you don't like if they say, hey, listen, you're gonna make $100,000 this year. When you leave, you stop getting paid from them. In this scenario, you don't. If we're getting 100,000, you get 100,000.
Let me ask you a question. My freshman year, I blow out my knee. I can never play again.
Sounds about right.
They still paying for my next 3 years of college.
You're on a scholarship. What are you
You're on a scholarship. So the school might honor it.
They might honor it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
They might.
You,
So
you,
if
you
that's
just
the
got to look
case,
at the term. I mean, but that's something you would have to talk with them about and see
So
how
I'm glad we
what
brought
they're
that up
thinking.
because this is my second opinion on this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If this is going to continue, they shouldn't be able to take, like, if you're just going to allow them to get up and leave, right? They shouldn't be able to take a student who is serious about their education spot. You know what I'm saying? Because every time they go into class, they're taking someone else's spot that could have been admitted to the school.
True.
They shouldn't be able to do that. So if we're going to make it a semi-pro, whatever, we just need to go ahead and do that because you're taking away from education from another kid's.
Remember, they're student athletes, not athlete students.
No boys don't be
student
in class.
Athletes.
No boys don't be in class, and when they in class, they don't be in class.
Be in that class if they were admitted. So, like, if they're gonna bounce from school to school, they're literally taking somebody's spot. I'm not with that.
Make them sign contracts.
I wanted to say.
Just sign a 2-year
deal. I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be next.
Make them sign a 2-year deal. I would not be
surprised that when they sign their letter of intent, and especially if they're going to collect NIL money, I would not be surprised if it's like, yo, this is a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So if you don't stay here for at least 2 years, then this is null and void, and you're gonna have to pay back. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised.
It's a business now, you know.
If it gets to that extent.
That's my other thing. If it doesn't really quite match up when you're talking about you can leave job from job to job, because by the time you get to that third job, the dude's gonna look at your resume like, bro, why you left your job after 6 months the last 2 times? What we doing?
Man, because my name's Steve Jobs. I can leave any job and go get another one, and I'll still be right. What you mean?
You're a job hopper.
You're right.
There's something wrong with your situation. Like, you know what? What makes me feel like there's not going to be something wrong with my situation going forward?
Hey, true.
Well, you know what? You guys, hold on. I can tell you guys that you're actually wrong about this, just in this new age job market. So I have a friend who's a social media strategist, and legitimately, like, their job shelf life for a particular company isn't very long because they're always trying to get to the next largest agency / company.
Yeah,
that's really
honestly, for yourself, you should do that. But at the same time, it does catch up to you. Like, you got to like show some kind of tendency when you go into those situations, because they're not going to invest in you. They're going to look for someone, who they might be able to pay a little more, pay a little less. That's going to stick around a little longer. I mean, it's twofold, right? Like, oh, this is the best person for the job, but are they going to stay? Versus so on and so forth. Like, I mean, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, you're right. That's a little job.
But
it's
like,
it's a good topic of conference.
The next job, your job, your current job is never going to give you a 30% raise, but your next job might give you 30% higher than what you're being paid. So you should absolutely. That's a good point. And just in life in general, you should absolutely continuously look for
the better option or the better opportunity.
Yeah.
Of course.
But somebody can be like,
and they probably had the opportunity for you then. You know what I mean? Like, legitimately, like, nobody's settling, like, really these days. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many. Never mind. We could talk about that's a whole other topic of conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of
we'll start another podcast about life for y'all. Yeah.
we went left there on that one. I mean, I don't even know if it don't even make sense to get into any more. We did, and it don't even make sense to even jump back into it. So you know what? Because we're already about 54 minutes into this show. So before we wrap it up, I know. Go on.
Let's do this real quick, Jason. Real quick, let's wrap it up a little bit. NBA. So obviously.
Okay. I thought you wanted to do the NFL stuff.
No, well, yeah, for sure. But just Pacers won game 2, right? So how do y'all feel about that?
Right.
Just real quick, like
finally a road team. Finally a road team won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think
Pacers have had Milwaukee's number all year. All year they've had their number. Even with Giannis, they've had their number. So it was shocking to me.
Are they saying Giannis is gonna be back this series?
I don't think so. I think they're going to be cautious.
You already know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I know you.
You already know how I feel about it.
They should be cautious with
the calf and the Achilles. I don't think he should play at all.
Yeah,
but I think the longer this series goes and Milwaukee can pull it out, it's probably better for them instead of getting to the second round early versus an opponent that might just blow them out of the water.
I I don't know about them pulling it out no more because you know what? They got punched in the face when they saw Dame drop 35 in the first half. You're just not used to seeing that, especially in the playoffs. You're like, what is that? They saw old Dame. The second quarter, the second game, he was phenomenal again. They're like, all right, we know that we can let Dame get this 25 in the first half, but we can't let Bobby Portis get 22, also. In the first, you know what I mean? We can't let him kill us.
Turns into Rasheed Wallace in the playoffs.
You feel me? We can't let Bobby Portis kill us.
And posting people up with a turnaround jumper. I'm like, who is this? It's like Rasheed. Where is the headband?
Now Bobby used to be nice, man. He had a nice trajectory until he punched that man in practice, broke his jaw, got kicked off the team.
No, he's a good player. He's a good player.
I like Bobby though. He's a tough guy. He's a real tough guy. Ask Mirotic.
He's a blue collar worker, But nah, I mean, I don't know. I still think Milwaukee will find a way to win this series. I just don't think Indiana's playoff ready. I never thought Indiana would have got swept. I never thought they would have gotten swept, but I just think
but who are you picking? Are you picking a Dame to carry a team or Siakam to a series win?
So I'm not picking Siakam to necessarily carry the team, but I think that he can help those young players understand. Like Ben have won a championship, been a part of teams that have been in deep playoff runs, like that playoff run with Kawhi. I think he could bring something to them to be like, listen, like I know this moment's big, but like I've been here before.
But versus basically everybody on the Bucks roster who was on the championship team, they all have, they know that this game is not the end of the world. They know they can come out the next game. And,
I think
who of those people are you picking over him though? Over Siakam though? Who are you picking over him?
I'm not saying over. I'm just saying first of all, I'm picking Dame to carry.
Well, I'm saying
the playoff series in the first round versus Pascal Siakam. But you're talking.
But that's not who he's going against.
Young.
Yeah. I got him going against Halliburton
players, but you have a Brook Lopez, Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis, like these guys, Middleton, like these guys all won a championship. So these are guys that Dame doesn't have to look at them and like, let's go. Like they know, like
you know
what I mean. Like Pascal might have to look at them if they go lose a game in Indiana. They're like, all right, boys, you guys, your eyes are big. We lost a game at home, like let's go. The Bucks aren't going to do that. They're going to turn around like, all right, we got to go on the road. We got to take one. We got to get one to get our home field advantage back. That's all. That's all they're thinking.
I think the Pacers had that moment already. I think they had that moment. That first game, I think they're going to be rocking in the field house.
It'll be rocking.
So
it'll be rocking.
I look at it like this. I just don't feel like Siakam is going to score 37 points every game in this series.
He don't need to.
In order. Yeah, but
I think he might.
Halliburton's gonna be good for a 35-pointer. He's gonna be good. He's gonna have a breakout
game. Score like that though. He don't score like that.
We don't know that. It's like again, this is another player that I thought was premature. Like we started giving him all these accolades and things like that. Like we got to let him develop into the player that we want him to be. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like, even
so I'm gonna tell you this:
break, he started taking a dip.
Wait till he goes back home. I'm telling you, watch what he does in game 3. I'm almost certain
9 points in game 1 and only take 6 or 7 shots. Like he got to go and be the man.
What do you have tonight? What do you have?
12 points. 12.
Yeah. See, bro, you
12 points. 12 and 12. He had 12 points, 12 assists.
Well, how many shots did he take?
That's not enough.
10 or 12. I think he was like 4 for 12.
He got to shoot 20 plus.
When he goes home,
and see the thing is that that's the one thing about Holly. Like everybody praises him for having a high shooting percentage, but he don't shoot the ball that much. Like if you're gonna be a dog and a guy who's gonna win playoff games, you got to go out.
40%.
You got to be. You can't be scared.
And 3 of 7 from the 3-point line.
You can't be.
So I look at it like this: for Milwaukee to prevail with, I don't want to say no problem, but for them to prevail, they need Chris Middleton to be Chris Middleton. Like they need him to be that person he was before these injuries. Like especially with Giannis out, that's who they're going to need to really step up and help Dame out. Because as you said, Bobby Portis is probably not going to give you 22 every night or whatever that number is. I mean, Brook Lopez had a pretty good game, and I think he gave you 22, but you need Middleton to be able to be that second scorer to help Dame out, especially with Giannis being hurt. Now, if Giannis comes back in this series, then I think I mean, granted, we don't know how healthy he would be, but it changes the tide a little bit, because now you got someone that not too many people can stop and cover or guard or however you want to look at it. So I think that gives them another element, and especially the way Dame has played these first two games. But for now, I think Chris Middleton is who the Bucks need to get back to being that guy.
I don't think he'll get back to who he was in the championship run, but he has looked healthier this year, to me at least.
I feel like y'all forgetting the Pacers. They aren't afraid of the Bucks because they've beaten them pretty consistent. Like they understand how to play the Bucks. Like they are a team that truly understands how to play the Bucks as many times as they played them this year. Like I really don't think that. I think it could. Maybe Dame takes a 6. I think we saw the best we're gonna get from Dame. Maybe he has another like 37-point game. I don't know, but he's not gonna be enough for them because they have Hallie, they have
35
Siakam
and 34 in his first two games. That's
But again, he's one person. They really need another guy. So who's gonna give them those points? Who else is coming?
Well, they need more from their bench. I mean, Connaughton gave him 5, Beasley gave him 4, Green gave him 5.